Welcome to the Dynasty Happy Hour podcast. Pull up a chair and kick up your feet as you get ready to enjoy some of the industry's most entertaining and actionable Dynasty content on the planet. We're talking veterans, rookies, sleepers, and oh yeah, you know the crew has those dad jokes ready for you. So let's not wait any longer and bring on the host or some combination of Doug, James, and Tyler.
Welcome to the Dynasty Happy Hour. We are here, Tyler, James, Doug, the holy trinity of Dynasty analysts are back in the building, here to review Week 8, go over all the news, all the injuries, all the things that you need to know for your Dynasty teams. Boys, Tyler, you must be a little sad today because your hometown team, Minnesota Vikings, looks like they're going to be without a quarterback for the rest of the season. James, you had a game for your team that was right there for the taking. Your starting quarterback went down. I mean, my team, the quarterback was healthy, but it just wasn't good. So, how are we feeling today, boys?
Good.
Down in the dumps.
Good, because they finally realized Taylor Heinicke is the answer for Atlanta.
No, you're wrong about that. Arthur Smith made sure that just to tighten the screws a little more at the end of the game, saying that it was just precaution and that Ritter will be starting next week.
In the locker room, Taylor Heinicke was quoted as saying it was Desmond Ritter's team.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
See, that's what's wrong with the youth these days. They just don't get it. They don't understand their surroundings. They don't feel like it's having a conversation with somebody you don't want to have a conversation with, and you just giving them the vibes like, okay, nope, we got to end this, and they just keep going. That's kind of
I have
what's
that sometimes
going on
with you, Tyler. I feel that.
Oh, fuck you.
I hate you.
Whoa, durr.
I hate you. Well, before we get into some injury news and some regular news, I did want to give a shout out to our sponsor. It's Underdog Fantasy. I didn't do so hot today on Underdog. I did player prop bets. Probably went a little too heavy with the 5-player props trying to get that big payout. I'm still chasing the white whale of a big payout on Underdog, and it hasn't happened yet, but I'm still trying. And you can chase it too if you want. You can go on to Underdog, download the app either in the iTunes or the Google Play Store. Use code DHH and you'll have up to $100 matched right away. You can also play other sports as well. NBA season just tipped off. NHL, they've dropped the puck. Baseball, World Series, you can do stuff on that as well. All sorts of different options that you can play on Underdog as long as it's allowed in the state that you reside in. So check out Underdog Fantasy again today. Once again, code DHH to save or to get matched up to $100. Let's go. Hey, and I just want to give a shout out to those people that are watching on YouTube. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Hit the comments down below. That's how the pros do it.
Hurry, if you want to see this, you got to hit the like and subscribe. Hurry, do it.
Yeah. We watch too much YouTube. I'm an old guy watching YouTube way too much.
Oh,
yeah, it happens. But yeah, like and subscribe. We're here every Sunday right around 9 Eastern, unless plans change, which can happen because we're all dads. We got families, and sometimes we have to record earlier. Get over it.
No,
all right.
Who cares?
That's true. All right, let us move into some player news. So the first big one here was Kyler Murray has been removed totally from the Cardinals injury report this week. He did not play, but he could very soon, and that very soon will not be in Week 9 because their coach, Mr. Gannon, said that he is not going to be active against the Browns next week. It'll be another Josh Dobbs week, which has been such a roller coaster with that guy, but entertaining in a way. So Kyler Murray probably going to be back, I would think, in Week 10. Realistically, from what we're seeing, and the reports are that he's been wowing the team on the practice field, and there's been oohs and ahs by some of his teammates. So excited for that. I only have Kyler Murray in one league, and it's a league that I am not really overly competitive in. So cool. But if you're a competitive team, especially in Superflex, and you're getting Kyler back, that could be a huge lift if you're pushing to make the playoffs and pushing for a title, because he's going to have fresh legs. The Arizona's offense hasn't looked bad, right, Tyler? I mean, they've got a new up-and-coming breakthrough tight end. Am I right?
Yeah, Trey McBride, who is tight end 1, and we'll get into that. But Kyler is a good case of if whoever has him is going to value him more because they're an actual Kyler fan. I've actually tried to go out and get him in every league I could, and it seems to be no, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to see where it's at, and I'm not giving a discount. So if they have Kyler, like our buddy Dynasty Rich and UDPL, he, still values him as a top 10 dynasty asset at quarterback. So I don't think you're getting that discount. That discount was probably mid-season when all the negative stuff was coming in and them being like, oh, Cardinals are going to shop him and stuff. But hey, maybe the Vikings would come a-calling and get some Kyler, because that was actually my thought. But I've got a couple more options as we get into the news a little more.
Interesting. They were talking on New England radio about the Patriots acquiring Kyler Murray in the offseason, which I was like, that would be.
I mean, we're not big on Kyler due to his attitude, but I do think everything you're hearing, his attitude has changed. He has said this is an eye-opening moment where he misses football a ton, that he's away from it, because he's a God-gifted, talented player, and you get that taken away from you. You get your leg and running ability, and then
you're just a normie.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're realizing like, hey, this is something that I love doing, and hey, maybe he comes out of it a better player, the guy that we actually like to watch in Oklahoma, instead of him lying on the turf pouting about something.
True. Any thoughts on Kyler Murray, James?
No, he hit the nail on the head.
Gotcha.
You don't need to stay on this. And we can talk about it next week when he's anticipated to come back in week 10.
Yeah. Other note, Chiefs wide receiver Justin Ross was placed on the commissioner exempt list following his arrest on Monday. He was arrested on Monday for misdemeanor domestic battery and misdemeanor property damage. Second-year receiver pleaded not guilty to both charges, of course, but with a court date scheduled for December, it's likely this will be the last time we hear Ross for the 23-24 season. This is a player that had such hype in dynasty circles. People were excited to spend like a 4th-round rookie pick, even though with his whole injury history, he's never really flashed at the NFL level, in my opinion, and he's just another guy. So for me, if you've got Justin Ross on your rosters, he's cuttable.
Mm-hmm.
So he's cuttable. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, in college, freshman year with Trevor Lawrence, he was considered the next Julio. Like, that's what we touted him as. I played in a couple David Leagues, Capitals Pigs, Doug. I miss that league, but
R.I.P. I love that league.
Yeah, he was a huge asset, and everybody wanted him. Everybody knew what he was. Then he had the neck injury, and he was out for a while. And then he had an ankle injury that was really bad. So just the injuries, plus I just think it really cut his elite athleticism down, and it was a career that could have been.
Yep, 100%. And we see guys like that happens all the time. So
Yep.
So just some notes on that, and then for injuries this week, it was a
shit show.
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, if you were a quarterback in the NFL, this week was not great to you. Again, I think I said it last week or the week before. I feel like we've seen like 50 different quarterbacks take snaps under center in the NFL this year. That's probably not a lie. I was trying to think through it. I didn't do the actual math, but I was thinking of all the backup quarterbacks we've already seen this year, and we've probably seen at least 50 different quarterbacks easy take snaps in games.
Look at Herbert taking snaps tonight. It looks like he forgot to take off the rest of the ET costume because he's still got the ET finger on the tip of his middle finger on his snap hand. Like, that's what it looks like.
Throw it to Keenan.
Ouch.
I need him to throw it to Keenan. So to round up the quarterback injuries, the big one, which is going to be, it's going to hurt you in your Superflex leagues, your standard leagues, because he was having a great season, even without Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins looks like pretty much confirmed that he tore his Achilles in the game, which sucks because Kirk is a fun guy to root for. It's a great offense to play in. And now it's going to be, who's their back? I know their backup was the rookie, but don't they have Nick Mullins there still?
Nick Mullins, but they threw in the rookie because they're a couple touchdowns ahead. There was 6 minutes left. I think they were just doing that. I actually do have a couple options here. And I think the main one is Jacoby Brissett with Washington. That is the one that makes most sense. They're selling. I honestly think that'd be a good fit.
The Vikings are 4-4.
Yeah, they're in it. I mean, the NFC North isn't crazy. Detroit's probably going to win it, but there's a wild card spot that is wide open. And the Vikings, their defense is picking up. But yeah, for me, that would be my first option. Second option. What else is there? Like Carson Wentz, he ain't going to call him up.
No.
Isn't he on someone's practice squad?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
I felt he was somewhere.
I
he
think
just signed
he's
like
at
a couple weeks
Cabela's.
ago, low-key. Maybe Bass Pro Shop, one of those two. But yeah, so losing
It's almost
Kirk,
November. He's hunting in South Dakota
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, easily. He ain't picking up his phone.
So losing
got that on
Kirk
silent.
stinks not only if you own Kirk Cousins, but also like the return of Justin Jefferson. It affects him. It affects Jordan Addison. It affects Hawkinson potentially. Like there's a lot of fallout to this injury. Not knowing what the quarterback position is going to look like. I think guys like Hawkinson will probably be safe because he's an easy target tight end. Jefferson, I think, is quarterback proof. So when he comes back, but the volume, the talent, I mean, there's going to be a difference.
I have one more.
Sure.
Matt Ryan.
Gross.
I mean, it's gross because he didn't play well for the Colts at the end of the year. He wasn't
He's
crazy
not
bad
coming out
at
of
the
the boot.
beginning. He said he's not retired and he would come out for the right opportunity. Kevin O'Connell, quick fire in offense. You got Addison, you got Jefferson, Matt Ryan on a run. I mean, he plays like Kirk. Kirk is better, but he could be 60% of Kirk Cousins, which is better than what they
Mullins
have right
and,
now.
Hall. Yeah.
100%.
I heard whispers of maybe Case Keenum, but
No, honestly,
He's familiar with Minnesota.
Carson Wentz up here in this offense wouldn't be crazy bad, but they need Jefferson back because Jefferson can erase a lot of mistakes that Wentz will do.
is Jefferson Wentz proof? I
Yes.
don't know.
The best receiver in the NFL, I think he could be, but
It just hurts.
Yeah,
They're wishing they didn't ship Kellen Mond off.
so I was laughing a little. I was laughing a little. That's disgusting. I was laughing a little bit because I was thinking, I'm like, they're talking about Kirk Cousins being traded if there's an injury at quarterback elsewhere, but now Kirk Cousins is the quarterback that gets hurt. And,
It's just wild to me that we've seen two quarterbacks with Achilles injuries in the same year. That
and
never
they're
happens.
older.
It never happens. So
Yeah.
very interesting. All right, let's move on to other quarterback injuries. Patrick Mahomes injured his hand. He didn't play all that well. We'll probably talk about that later. Kenny Pickett injured his ribs and was out the remainder of the game. It looked like a fairly serious injury. And also Tyrod Taylor, not only with a broken sole, but also with a rib injury. And he had to go to the local hospital. So whenever we were talking about it when we were watching football, I said Tyrod Taylor never has the easy injuries. He always has the deep internal injuries.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
usually-
this is the second time he's had something go wrong with his ribs. If you don't remember back in when
They
he was with the
punctured his lung
Chargers.
by accident.
I
Yeah.
wonder,
Yeah,
I
so
wonder if they
I
went to the
wonder.
doctor and they're like, "Hey, this scar tissue, this is in the wrong spot. So whoever did this is an idiot."
Tyrod Taylor's like, the scar tissue.
It's on the opposite side.
Yeah. This isn't even in the lungs. This is where your kidneys are, Tyrod.
Oopsie. And then Matt Stafford hurt his thumb relatively early in the game, toughed it out, and then they yanked him for Brett Rippon because the Rams were bad and they were losing by a ton of points against the Cowboys.
Stetson Bennett needs to come.
Yeah. So they may have some quarterback concerns here for a week or two. But Stafford's a pretty tough guy, so we'll see what happens. But their season is kind of hinging on losing their season as well for the Rams. And if you own Cooper Kupp today, yikes. Anyway, so other than that, we've got a few positional players. Darren Waller exited the game with a hamstring injury. Kendrick Bourne left the Patriots game with a knee injury. There's rumors that it might be something semi-serious, so we'll keep an eye on that, as he was a bye-week player you could put in because he was getting targets and scoring touchdowns.
Him in.
Yep. Drake London exited the game with a groin injury, so that's never fun. We like Drake London, so we saw him leave the game as the Falcons tried to save their day, and they didn't have London to help him out. So he was gone. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. I know next week is really tough when it comes to buys. Week 9 is one of the heaviest bye weeks that we have. So these are going to be key injuries, especially if you don't have depth. You might be hurting quite a bit going into week 9. So boys, any other thoughts on any of these injuries before we chop it up about week 8?
Yeah, just trade deadline coming up. We'll see if anybody makes moves for players that are competing teams like the Vikings. See if they make a move. And yeah, I mean,
the only good thing about all of this, all these injuries, is that the backups came in and played poorly. Like that's
a good thing.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. They're not going to lose. The starters aren't going to lose their jobs.
There's so few good backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like
why a guy like
Minshew.
Jacoby Brissett is going to have value. Yeah.
Yep, Minshew and
So I would say Dobbs is a good backup quarterback.
yeah, Dobbs, and that would be an option for Minnesota too, but they need Dobbs for one more week. It's going to be an interesting trade deadline because all these rumors swirling around, and now it's starting to really calm down to where we're going to get the classic NFL trade deadline where all the hype, none of the boom.
We'll see. I think, you have teams that lost today that should be sellers, like the New England Patriots, the Commanders. They said that if they didn't win today, they were going to
Montez Sweat for a third, apparently, to Atlanta.
Yeah, that works. So there's going to be some players moved here. It's just going to be a matter if there's like an impact. When Derrick Henry, they told him they weren't going to trade him. The Titans go out and win today. I would let him go. Like, just roll with Tajay Spears and whoever you got, a bag of nickels.
100%.
Yeah, he's a running back, whatever. So let's get actually, before we move on to week 8, I did want to give a shout out to Trophy Smack. I was actually thinking today, so the trophy for my home league, I was thinking like the COVID year, the guy that won it never even got to really hold on to the trophy, and I felt bad about that. And then my co-champion in my home league, the trophy's been waiting for the badge forever. I got to hold the trophy for a little bit. Then I gave it to somebody to get it done. It still hasn't get done. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll order just some trophies for the years that they won so they can have it permanently, because I felt bad that they didn't get to have the trophy. So I got to go on and look. But I know when I do look, I'm going to use code DHH Ring to get that free $60 championship ring. And maybe I'll give it to one of them as an extra I'm sorry gift, which you can always do too. But if you're looking for a trophy, whether it's for fantasy football, if you just wrapped up your baseball season, it's a perfect opportunity to go onto Trophy Smack, get a belt, get a trophy. There's all sorts of stuff for losers in your league as well. So for every winner, there's always a loser. So you can get stuff for punishments on there. You can get trophies for your losers of your league. Just a myriad of options. They're always growing their selection over at TrophySmack.com. And you can customize your belts as well. So if you wanted to customize it, something with your own design, like the Swedish Chef, like Chef has, or anything like that, you can do that on Trophy Smack, which really sets them apart from anybody else in the industry. And we're happy to have them as our long-standing sponsor here on the podcast, and still hopefully maybe get out there for a Scott Fishbowl draft next year. Right, Tyler? We can make that happen.
I got to do better than my 1-12 or 1-13 I am this year.
Well, I'm done now. I just lost Kirk Cousins, and I had Ritter as my backup QB, so I'm done.
Barf emoji.
Yep.
I went from
I had Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I went from 1600th to 600th last week, and I had another 250 plus points this week. So your boy, I'm holding the mantle for Scott Fishbowl for us.
It's a big swing.
It's a big swing. So we'll see what happens.
James
but check out.
James and I are exhausted. We hand the baton to you, Doug.
I was like top 200 after the first 2 weeks. Now I'm like 1,500.
My team is moving in the right direction, so I'm happy about that. But in the meantime, go to TrophySmack.com, use code DHH Ring, get that $60 championship ring today when you order a belt or a trophy. All right, who wants to kick us off for this week 8 business?
We already went into depth about Kirk Cousins, so I don't really need to go into that about quarterbacks.
We can talk about their running game.
James and I are Cam Akers and Madison. They both aren't great because this is not a running team. But you know what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to be one.
Yeah.
So, their offensive line is actually built for running. So
you would know that by watching them.
Madison outsnapped Akers like 2-1 in this matchup compared to last week.
Yeah, but Madison
was almost split, and Madison looked bad. Akers scored the touchdown.
Akers still looked bad. Madison and Akers both look bad. You can't just be like, well, you got a
Akers
touchdown,
averaged
so much better.
2.1 yards.
No, not
Madison
the yards
only
per carry,
1.9.
no.
Yeah, yards per carry. Here we go. 2.1. Oh my gosh. Give him a first rounder for Cam Akers. 2.1 yards per carry. Take my eyes.
It was better than Jordan Addison's 2-yard run. Wait, let me stop there.
Please.
Oh man, but this team is going to be dump off city. TJ Hawkinson is going to get like 1,000 targets per game. It's going to be
from
ridiculous.
Who? And that's the
It
real
won't matter
problem
because they are going to feed off Hawkinson, which you saw Jaron Hall do when he came in. It was target to Hawkinson, target to Hawkinson.
He's a safety blanket.
This is pretty much a killer for Addison either way because Jefferson's coming back soon. So if you have Addison and you can get the world for him now, what would you ask for Addison? You could probably get, I don't know, JSN plus a little.
I don't know. JSN's on the come up.
Yep, that's the second
That's
week
true.
in a row he has a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these rookie receivers. Flowers didn't have a good week.
He had a lot of targets, but yeah, he didn't.
Good.
He didn't. The Ravens. I don't
think
understand how
I'm
the
looking
Ravens
to
offense
flip
can go
Addison.
from the Ravens offense can go destroying the Lions to struggle busing against the Cardinals. I don't. The NFL's weird.
Here's what the Vikings are going to do. They are going to trade for Tannehill and then they're going to just be average again. No, in all honesty, they're going to probably draft that Michigan kid. And was it McCarthy?
Yeah.
They're going to draft him, who's a Kirk Cousins-esque type player, and it's going to be the same offense, same old thing, which is fine. But let's get into another quarterback that has fallen apart, and that's Brock Purdy. I mean, the clock is ticking. He doesn't look great. Like, he had a couple good throws. You're like, wow, there he is. And then you're just like, what the hell? Like, that's not a Purdy throw that
I have a theory.
He's a decent quarterback, but he's not outstanding.
I think he's good. The thing about Brock Purdy is the one thing that these teams have been doing is without Trent Williams in the lineup, they're bringing pressure, and that's when Purdy struggles. If you give Purdy time in the pocket, he'll pick you apart. But if he has to move around, then he'll start to make mistakes. He's a young quarterback.
He's also sitting at 12 for the week, right ahead of Trevor Lawrence. So how much are we really going to knock him?
This is a bad week for quarterbacks, so.
Yeah, so with Purdy, I think it's just a matter of like if a team's going to get pressure on him, he's going to struggle a little bit. But them losing Trent Williams and not having him in the game is a big factor to this. Now, I thought it was weird. There was only, 4 players that caught passes for the Niners today?
It was 5, actually. No, 6. No, 5. Yep,
yeah,
numbers are tough.
It seemed like it was Kittle, 4. Ayuk, McCaffrey, and Ray McLeod.
And Mitchell had a target, but did not catch it.
Yeah, and Juwan Jennings was nowhere to be found. It was a weird week.
Jennings got a bad penalty, I think, early, and he was in the doghouse because that's Shanahan. I mean, if you don't know Shanahan,
it with Ayuk, remember?
That's Shanahan. Purdy did have 57 on the ground, which is something you don't really see.
Yeah, I think Purdy's okay. I just think that this 3-game stretch has been tough. He's coming off a what could have been a concussion, so that could have factored in a little bit, even though he cleared. Like, I thought he played okay, but I think it's all about the pressure. If a team's going to put pressure on Purdy, he's going to have games like this where he's going to turn it over a couple times. But he's surrounded by so much talent that for fantasy, he's still going to have fringe QB1 weeks, like James said.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, it was a bad quarterback week. CJ Stroud against what seemed like a good matchup.
Yeah, that
wasn't great. Like 16 for 24.
Yeah, Bryce Young outplayed him.
I don't know what happened now.
Bryce Young, hey, I mean, Doug and I were talking about it.
It didn't look pretty on either side of the ball.
Bryce Young, I thought, looked light years better than what he did when he was on the bye. Like, he definitely looked at the tape and was like, hey, I'm an idiot. I need to start getting rid of the ball sooner. And he did.
It's a big old problem.
And I mean, Jonathan Mingo finally got involved, which is good to see.
Yeah, but keep an eye out for him because he's coming out with a chip on his shoulder out of the box.
How about that Miles Sanders donut today? It's Chuba Hubbard's backfield, boys.
It's Chuba's backfield, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really anybody's? I mean, Chuba had 15 for 28.
I mean,
that's way lower than Cam Akers by
Cam Akers.
That's Alexander Madison territory.
Alexander Madison or Chuba Hubbard. Neither.
Yeah, I want to go to because we're talking about the trade.
Before we move on, Tyler, we're talking rookie quarterbacks.
Okay.
So I'm going to transition
here
this.
We go.
I'm going to transition this to the rookie quarterback who we never saw this coming, but Will Levis. It was him and Malik Willis today. They said they were going to go back and forth. Malik Willis had an early fumble, and then we really never saw him again. And then Will Levis is launching bombs all over the field, throws for 4 touchdowns in his debut. Are we onto something here, or is this like a fugazi, as James would say?
If they let him,
fugazi.
No, because Atlanta's defense is legit. Like that's what
I was thinking. Atlanta's defense isn't bad.
Didn't AJ Terrell get hurt in this game?
No.
Yeah,
he got his pride because he got burned by Hopkins.
Well, they probably should have called Hopkins on that play, but that's either 100%. Here or there. Yeah.
And Hopkins, this is Hopkins' career. He is so good at avoiding penalties, just barely. Like you can visually see it, but I don't know how he does it. But it's like he just ninja bombs.
They look at his long, weird hair, and they're like, "Oh."
Like he just ninja bombs the ref. And they're like, "What is this smoke? What the? Oh, touchdown! Okay, touchdown."
I mean, nothing is cemented after this win.
Oh,
Will Levis.
It's Levis,
but it's getting towards the point where it's probably going to be him next year as a starter. Ryan Tannehill probably out the door.
if you give Levis the reins just to do his thing, because this is what Levis is good at. He has a pretty deep ball. He has a great arm. We saw that. Literally a flick of the wrist with his last touchdown throw. And that is a throw not a lot of quarterbacks can do. Like, that's the thing. That is what Will Levis is good at. He trusts Hopkins to go up and get the ball, which Hopkins is good at. So if they can keep doing this, and this is why I think Burks is one of the biggest buys.
I was just going to say, and they didn't even get Burks involved today at all.
He had a beautiful Burks did beautiful catch, but it was just barely out of bounds. Mm-hmm. So Burks is a smashing buy if this is their offense. If it's going to be a play action, just chuck the damn ball, Will Levis. Like Chig, buy. Burks,
well, I said it in the offseason that Tennessee kind of reset their future offense in the offseason because they drafted Levis, they drafted Spears, they have Burks, they have Okonkwo. Like, they have a lot of good young pieces that this could be their offense going forward, and they're all going to learn and grow together. And I think that was kind of what they were ideally trying to do. And I didn't see this coming out of Levis today, especially against, a pretty good, like you said, a pretty good Atlanta
top
defense.
5. Yeah.
And the Titans were creating separation, and Levis was hitting them in stride. There was no, it was like dropping it right in the bucket. And I was like, wow, I didn't see this coming. So that was really surprising. And that could be a really good lift for, like we talked about, your Scott Fishbowl teams, or if you're in a super flex league and you've got some of these injuries, Will Levis is on your taxi, boom, promote and just start him.
Yeah, because, this is the thing with quarterback, is he's going to have a massive ceiling like today, but he's going to have games where
he's going to struggle.
Yeah, he's going to have his struggles. He will probably have a game where it's like 2 picks, but he'll have 2 touchdowns, 2 or 3 picks. Mm-hmm. But he's still, I think personally, he's going to have this yardage floor because we all know him coming out of Kentucky. He's a gunslinger. Like, this is his mentality. He's been like that. And when he went to Kentucky for his senior year, they kind of tamed him. They made everything short. But years before that, when he was considered a top pick, he was one of those guys that was like throwing deep. He had Wan'Dale Robinson. This was his game. And I was a big fan. I actually had him ahead of Richardson pre-draft. So I like the tape. I don't have many shares because I was nervous.
I've just got a couple.
Yeah, but if like James said, I think this is the future. He's going to get a year after this year to prove himself. And that's always good in Superflex. And if he keeps progressing, this could be something.
Yeah, there's no reason he can't be like Sam Howell.
I honestly think he's got I think Howell.
He should be better.
Like, Howell mentally, I think, has a better makeup. But when it comes to pure athletic ability, Levis through the roof. Because even through the draft process, it was Levis has the crazy Josh Allen arm. And that's what it's always been.
And I said it before, if Will Levis stinks, he'll just be the next Taysom Hill. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true, because he is yoked up.
I know. I hate Taysom. I was watching the games today, and I'm facing Taysom Hill in a league, and I'm just like,
he is
20 points.
He's the worst. I say that every year. He has actual something. Like, he's the worst. And I don't even like Derek Carr. I don't have Derek Carr anywhere. I don't need Derek Carr points. It's just, why? Why does he exist?
Well, he just takes away from Kamara and from Olave and Michael Thomas, and he's done it his whole career. He's like the ultimate sniper.
I was gonna say, he in like 1930s, 1940s would just be the MVP.
He'd be like Red Grange.
Yeah, just MVP. This is the guy. He does everything, and he would strive in college these days. Woo. Yeah. He came out at 37 years old. He was drafted.
James, you've been quiet. I want to hear from you.
About what?
Anything in week 8?
I had a really bad week. Some injuries, really. I'm still trying to get over.
You're talking about the Giants
thing. No, I'm not talking about the Giants. There's nothing to talk about. We stink.
Hey, but the Jets are king of New York. You didn't hear Salah? Hey, it feels good to be the kings of New York.
Get the heck out of here. What was interesting was they did show Aaron Rodgers throwing during pre-warm.
Who looked explosive when he threw.
Yeah. What the heck is that all about?
You want to know why? Because Aaron Rodgers messes with the crazy shit when it comes to medicine. And it's working. It's working.
Sniffing Elmer's glue wrapped in mushrooms, wrapped in God knows what.
The best. Hey, by the way, the best part about it is he's doing this with J.K. Dobbins, so we could see J.K. Dobbins in December.
Is he really?
Rehab buddies. Yeah,
rehab buddies. He's doing it with J.K. They're actually in a competition together, so they're trying to get back sooner together. And I get that Dobbins is a running back, so it's going to take him a lot longer. But, they both had the crazy new surgery that Akers had, but there's a different, like Roger said, it's different than what Akers had too. Like they're trying different things.
Mm-hmm.
So we could see a turn in this whole Achilles thing.
If the Jets
hopefully.
are in it for the playoffs, I think Rodgers will play.
I think Rodgers is back by week 12.
Really?
Yes.
So he's in a month?
If you saw him throw, he was actually pushing like explosively through the throw. Like last time we saw him throwing on the ball, it was just all arm.
Yeah.
All arm. But this was like hip turning, pushing with the foot. And like I was saying, like he had the injury on his non-explosive foot throwing. Like it's his left foot. So it's his plant foot, which you don't need.
Kirk Cousins back for the playoffs.
Kirk Cousins is actually his explosive foot. So it's his push-off foot that he had.
Yeah.
Which sucks because that is where all your explosiveness from the throw.
Yeah, it's true.
How about Evan Ingram?
Oh,
What about him?
10
We're
for 88?
We're talking. Let's talk more about the guy throwing on the ball and where is he at in Dynasty? Because where is the point? Trevor Lawrence is just quarterback 12, quarterback 13, and is
the
he
ceiling? I'm still looking for it. I keep looking up.
100%.
Yeah.
They haven't hit it yet.
And is he? Because what year is he in? 3? Is this 3 or 4?
This is 3.
Okay, year 3.
Might be 4.
No,
I think it's year 3.
That's 3.
Because he got drafted with who was it? Zach Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Jets could have Trevor, but they don't. So this is year 3. So when are we going to see this next uptick from him? When are we going to see?
I think we started to see it towards the end of last year, and that's what gave us all the hope. You know, they make the big comeback win in the playoffs. He's trending in the right direction. So we're all like, everyone's on Trevor Lawrence and redraft is like a whatever QB 8 or 9, and in Dynasty people are
I was guilty.
You can't trade him because he's worth too much, and then the season starts and he's been.
In this game with the rain, I mean, he almost threw for 300 yards. He did have 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It's not like he's playing bad,
normal
but he's not
his
like
normal
playing
stat
very
line.
good.
It's literally 1 or 2 touchdowns, a pick, and that's it. Like
he's not
around
giving you 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, like and no turnovers.
He's the type of quarterback like Kirk Cousins that needs 30-plus touchdowns to be a top quarterback. He needs to have that Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, even Joe Burrow close to 40 touchdowns a season, but he has not even shown close to that ability. We've had a couple games here and there where it's like 3 touchdowns, and you're like, maybe, but then it goes back to the 1 touchdown, 0 touchdowns.
And for all the weapons he has, he doesn't really have any excuses.
Etienne has had a fantastic year on the ground and is kind of siphoning those touchdowns, but like we said, we're still kind of waiting on that, and maybe you can kind of trade down from Trevor and get plus on the other side.
Or can you use Trevor and go up?
That's true. Like
Trevor and a little something on top to get Burrow.
Yeah, I could see you doing that. You could do.
I mean, the time to buy Burrow was a couple weeks ago. Clearly,
Yeah,
but like
not after today.
Josh Allen before this week, you could have probably done that for the first time in Josh Allen's career because everybody was like, "Oh, Josh Allen is back to his Wyoming self."
Yeah, no.
Nope.
He's just fine. But yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence continues. It'll be interesting. I mean, he's still, like you said, it's 3rd year. We just haven't seen him progress to get into that elite status yet. And guys like Burrow did it within their first 3 years. I mean, for fantasy purposes, Herbert's done it, even though they can't win real NFL games. I saw something that was like, since his rookie year, I think Herbert has the most losses of any quarterback in the league, which is wild to me because, again, a super talented roster. Just get rid of Staley, please. God.
100%. My dream scenario is get rid of Staley, bring in Ben Johnson from the Lions, who can run that crazy efficient, high-powered offense that Detroit has, and I think it would be fixed. And honestly, I liked Quentin Johnson. I know he has 1 catch. Hey, everybody, 1 catch, 1 target. He caught 100%. But I think the future is Josh Palmer and the corpse of Keenan Allen as it goes. But they're definitely going to need to look at more weapons for this offense. Hopefully, another dream scenario is Brock Bowers on this offense next year and draft him, bring in Ben Johnson as the coordinator or the coach, because usually NFL teams will go defense and offense. So Staley's quote unquote a defense guy, even though it doesn't seem like it. And they'll bring in Ben Johnson and draft Brock Bowers or a receiver.
Yeah. Can we talk AJ Brown a little bit?
Jesus.
Yeah.
8 for 8, 130 and 2.
That's like 6 straight games with over 125 NFL record. He's on another planet right now.
Yeah. And he's
I was going to say, if you want to go on the Dynasty time machine, when he was drafted by the Titans and slipped in all the rookie drafts.
Didn't the Patriots pass on him? Another slap on the sign, what could have been?
I think everybody passed on him.
Yeah, the Patriots passed on him, yes.
I mean, this is I'm happy because, I mean, like we talked about in UDPL, I dealt Jefferson for AJ Brown and Waddle. They both go ham this week. So that's
and Jefferson gets 0 points because he's hurt.
Yes, but AJ Brown, he's on that level where he's hit his peak.
He's
this
taking
is
over games.
This is peak AJ Brown. We are seeing greatness at the point where Jalen Hurts just throws him the ball, and it seems like AJ Brown knows he's going to go get it. And us as fans look at it and go,
it feels
this
like
is
he's
a
on.
catch.
I'm not going to compare him to Megatron, but he's on a run like where it's just like you can throw with him with full confidence, and he's going to make the play,
100%.
and he's going to take over games.
100%. And I think this is going to continue until we see it kind of fall off, which who knows? I mean, you guys, most exciting part of this whole 2023 season was seeing Julio Jones catch a touchdown today.
Yeah.
I was watching it with friends and like, who's number 80? I go, it's Julio Jones, bro. And they're like, I forgot they had him.
I legit was happy. My whole being was so happy seeing him catch a touchdown. And the best part was he just acted like it was another touchdown. Did kind of a crossover between the legs, tossed the ref the ball, and just went off to the sideline.
Yeah.
Julio Jones, everybody, he's back. 100%. Vintage Julio. No, I'm kidding. It's
How
not
about
vintage.
the fake tush push that they did towards the end of the
Swift?
game
That
and
was
ran it in
clever.
with
That
Swift?
was Swift.
I was waiting for someone to do that.
The Patriots tried to do that a couple weeks ago and muffed it, and Ramondre ended up fumbling because they didn't do it right. So, yeah, that's the first time I've seen it work.
Yeah, when the Eagles actually did it, it was one of those things where you were like, ooh, like that got me tricked out. I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh my God, that was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it's clever when they have those variations of plays.
We're gonna talk about Jahan Dotson. Finally,
I don't know.
Hopefully, it's a trend because he's been.
It's not a trend yet. It's only
not.
the one week.
No, I said hopefully. Well, I meant hopefully it's a start of a trend because he's been
yes.
silent all season long. It was that game was curious because McLaurin had 2 like massive like catchable balls that he just couldn't reel in. At
12
the end of
targets. 12 targets for Terry, and
Yeah.
he only had 5 for 63. I mean, this is the Sam
He had a
Howell
touchdown early.
experience.
He did have a touchdown.
Yeah.
This is Sam Howell experience. Tons and tons of throws.
He's really good for fantasy. Just
Oh my
stinks
God,
as
I
He
can't
is.
believe
NFL quarterback.
I can't believe I benched him at bar tab.
I'm
I
so mad. I
beat
benched him
Robbie.
like everywhere. I'm like,
I started him
no.
in a couple spots.
only if I had to. I started him.
Now there is a rumor, a guy that we all really want to
Is it a
see.
Wuma?
A guy we all really want to see somewhere else because he's ultra talented, but the team doesn't like him. Antonio Gibson. I would love to see him on a team that throws the ball to running backs. Like this common sense. What is your dream matchup for Gibson? Rumors are the Ravens are interested in him, which would be nice. But I'm not sure about the like out of all the running backs we want, Lamar Jackson throw the fucking football. It's Gus Edwards that gets all these pass catches.
I'm trying to think of a team that does throw the football to running backs, and there's not a lot of them anymore.
Nope.
I mean, Green Bay, they could use some help at running back, and Jordan Love is playing not good. So
I mean, I could see Gibson as a backup in San Francisco. That makes sense.
that does kind of make some sense. And that would, because I mean, McCaffrey, the way they use him, we're looking at maybe another year and a half until he is a corpse.
Yeah.
Because, man, every time he gets tackled, you're just like, oh, he is falling apart. And you can
What about
feel it.
Antonio Gibson to the Chiefs?
I don't say no to that.
Jerick McKinnon has not been it this year.
I mean,
Pacheco's
Mahomes
been
missed him a
good.
ton.
Hilaire's Hilaire. Like, I think
I
Gibson
still
would
really
give
like
them some
Hilaire.
extra. That's fine. I think Gibson would give them some extra size and athleticism at
Wow,
the
you had to
position.
say
that
size, didn't you?
that they-
Oh,
yeah, 'cause
shut at
CH
Hilaire.
well, CH is currently asleep in my pocket.
Can't even see him.
He is your leg. He is your right leg. That's why when you get tackled, Doug, when people go for your right leg, nobody can tackle you.
Gibson fumbles on the field.
Gibson, but
He
his
does fumble
pass
a lot.
catching ability is so good. Like, he had a beautiful over the shoulder catch today. I mean, it didn't go for much, but it's like, this is what you want to use him as.
The Chiefs' offense still needs something.
Yes.
And he's an affordable piece that they can add to it, that
They
they
need
can
a
use him in
receiver.
different spots.
They need a receiver with speed, and they don't have it. They have
Sky Moore's
MVS.
hands. Clang.
Oh my God! Like Jameson Williams on the Chiefs, which we originally kind of wanted to happen. I know Jameson Williams in Detroit is they're button heads. Everything you hear from the coach, like even Ben Johnson came out and said, "Hey, like it's all based off of what this guy can do. We're not on the same page yet." Like he is literally saying through
Yeah,
words.
he's saying there's no rapport with him and Jared Goff.
Yeah,
and
These
that
Alabama receivers coming out lately.
I
some
thought he had
knuckleheads.
such a great preseason. They were on the same page, and then all of a sudden you're out for 4 weeks.
I mean, I've
and that
never
goes
heard this
away?
whole same page thing. It's always been
They
he's
were saying
struggling.
that he was doing great in camp, and he had a great preseason, and then all of a sudden,
I mean, he had to be away from the team, right?
not during the preseason.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Jameson Williams, maybe give him a refresh, send him off to Kansas City. That would be a dream scenario because that's all he needs to do.
I
is
don't
catch...
see them. I don't see Detroit trading him. I really don't.
No,
No.
especially where they're competing.
And
But
you know,
who's the
it's like
speed
he's
option?
second year in his rookie deal.
Khalif Raymond, bro.
But they need somebody with.
Are you
a
talking about the
little-
Chiefs?
Yes, they need a little more.
They need to go out and get
size.
Zay
Dude,
Jones.
did you see Rashee Rice zoom in today and then laying the lick at the end of that play? I like that kid.
But yards after catch, great.
Yeah, but he's
they
not going to
need-
create separation downfield.
They need somebody that Mahomes can let loose again because we have not, like Doug. We talked about this.
You know
a
who
couple
would
weeks
have
ago.
You know who would have been really good before he got hurt? Kendrick Bourne would have been really good on the Chiefs.
Yeah, 100%. That would be a great option. A guy that's
Mm-hmm.
not going to cost him an arm and a leg.
Oh,
but
there's another touchdown for Herbert. Donald Parham.
so speaking of Darnell Parham, I watched the beginning of this game. He stiff armed somebody, and the guy was at the hashes, and Parham was almost out of bounds. Like that's how long his damn arms are.
He's a big dude.
Parham's a big guy, man. He's almost 7 foot tall.
Did you know he used to play basketball?
What?
No way.
No, this can't be.
With Gerald Everett out tonight, I think Parham's good.
That
Parham's-
Parham pivot.
Parham sandwich,
Parham sandwich.
Parmesan ham sandwich.
Ew. I don't know.
Hey,
I like that idea.
Parmesan on anything's good. Yeah, this is like I said. This trade deadline, I still with the Chiefs, they need somebody like 6 foot tall that's a speedster. Like bring back Jeremy Maclin.
Julio Jones. Oh wait, he's taken already.
Julio Jones doesn't have the speed,
No, he
but
doesn't have
that would
he doesn't have that
be.
juice.
But like who out there? Because that's all you're reading about right now is Chiefs need a speedster. They need a receiver. Terry McLaurin on the Chiefs, but he is an arm and a leg. Like his contract is.
What about Adam Thielen?
Okay, we're talking about speed here, right?
No, he just needs a receiver that can catch the ball.
What about Terrace Marshall? Give him a shot because
Yeah.
he's got 4.3 speed.
Can the Patriots get like a 5th round pick for Tyquan Thornton? That's cool. I'd like that.
I think what the
That
Chiefs
actually
really do
is
need
not
to
a
do is
bad
they need to
fit.
go and trade for somewhat of a veteran that they keep taking these chances on these rookies and they're just not panning out. This is what, the 3rd year in a row now that Tyreek's not there?
I would say Rashee Rice has panned out so far, but like
He's a
Sky
2.
Moore certainly has not.
No, Sky Moore definitely not it.
MVS, not it.
Kadarius Toney, not
Not
it.
it.
I mean, he's pretty much buried on that roster.
Mecole
I mean,
Hardman,
when
not
Justin
it.
Watson is getting a decent amount of targets, you got a problem.
A guy more talented than Justin Watson. There you go.
There's a
Go
lot of
find
them.
him.
There's a lot of them.
But like built like him, guy that's fast, but just needs better hands and better awareness.
Or Darnell Mooney.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah, I like that. That's not
Darnell
bad.
Mooney. The Bears aren't winning anything. He's a free
Darnell
agent at the end of
Mooney.
the year.
What about
I
Calvin
mean,
Ridley?
The Jags are winning. They're 6-2. They're not going to trade.
KJ Osborne.
Last year of his contract?
They won't trade
KJ Osborne for Minnesota. I've heard that roaming around a little bit.
It's fair.
him. I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
they got options, but like we said, like this trade deadline just could be a snooze fest.
There was speaking of snooze fests, some of these 1 o'clock games. Whew,
I fell asleep.
Yikes.
I was gonna say locally for you, James. There's a lot of naps.
Very
in
tough.
you.
I cooked Sunday dinner. Some meatballs, sausage, and gravy while the games were going on, and it's pretty much like sleeping.
Yeah, very nice.
I
Very
can
nice.
cook in my sleep.
You guys
Well,
want so Brees Hall, very inefficient on the ground.
Inefficient?
Inefficient?
Inefficient is not a word.
It is.
Inefficient?
It's inefficient.
Inefficiently?
It's insufficient.
You have insufficient funds.
But Brees Hall, this is what the Jets need to do. I don't get it. Like, hey, Zach Wilson, overly target Garrett Wilson, perfect. But your next option should just be like Garrett Wilson, first read, second read, Brees Hall on the flat. Like
That's
that should
pretty
be
much
it.
what he did. Brees
two-
led everybody else behind Garrett Wilson with targets.
I mean, Tyler Conklin was getting over targeted, and anything more than one target is over targeting.
I mean, Conklin's not that bad.
I know, but when you got
He
Garrett Wilson
did give
and
you a
Brees-
good. You got conked. You got conked today by
Aw.
Tyler. Yep. Uh-huh.
I got conked.
And all week, I have seen all around that Jalen Waddle is elite. And I thought to myself, is he elite? He had a
Yes.
breakout game. So Jalen Waddle, is he... If Tyreek wasn't there, would Jalen Waddle be a difference maker enough to be a top 8 dynasty receiver?
I mean, he would garner double-digit targets easily if
Yes.
Tyreek wasn't there.
My answer.
They don't
is
have a
easy
tight
yes.
end that they use. They don't pass to the running backs very often. Like, put him in the spot that can assume he's maybe 2/3 of Tyreek. That's elite.
You know who'd look really good in a Dolphins uniform? Jerry Jeudy. He would be perfect for this team.
That's someone that the Chiefs should go out and get.
What about Chase Claypool?
No.
Oh, you mean the guy that Tyreek said is built like a fridge?
Hey, he caught a pass today, Claypool.
Tyreek Hill said he's built like a fridge. Now, he
I don't know if
didn't
that's
say.
a good thing.
he
Wait a
didn't
minute.
say-
Is that
he
like
legit?
a good thing?
he legit
like a
did not
1985
say-
yellow fridge?
Like a
or
counter
like
depth
a-
one? Like,
No,
I don't know.
like the fridge.
William Perry.
Yes.
William Perry.
No. Like when he said it a couple weeks ago, and they were even thinking like, is this a compliment? And Tyreek didn't say it was or not, but like he said he's built like a fridge. I don't know if that means he moves like one too, but the Dolphins finally get off the schneid after trading for Claypool because they did not win a game after they traded for him. So
Yeah.
the curse is
I mean,
broken.
they beat the Pats, whatever. I mean, I know the Pats beat the Bills last week, but the Patriots almost never win down in Miami, so this is not surprising.
But yeah, do you guys think Denver's going to sell now that they won and beat the Chiefs? Or do you think Sean Payne's like, we got this. We could do
Sean
this.
Payton's cocky enough to be like, I got this, when what they should do is they probably should sell off some pieces.
Yeah.
Sean Payne, the way he is this year and the way what we've seen, he's going to trade Marvin Mims before he trades Judy.
That would be an error in judgment to do that.
Yeah. Javante looked awesome today.
Yeah, he
it's
did.
good to
Finally,
see him
welcome back.
I
First
tried to
touchdown of the game-
trade.
of the season.
I pushed and pushed in a league to trade for him, and I couldn't get a deal done. Unfortunately, I had to give JSN for him before the game if I wanted to, and I was like, not happening.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
All right, going through. You guys got anything else you guys want to hit on? I know Zach Charbonnet
I was just
had
going
a
to say
good game.
Zach Charbonnet looked really good today.
He was decent.
He had
I
a
mean,
couple really nice
yeah.
short yardage runs that he had some good yards after contact, and he looked spry and he looked good. He did make one run where he cut probably in the wrong direction, but that happens with young running backs in the league. I thought Jonathan Taylor looked really good today, although Zach Moss is going to continue to be a thorn in the side of Jonathan
don't
Taylor.
get it.
I don't get it.
12 carries. Like, come on. Just give him the
95 yards,
touchdown.
like he looked good.
And then Zach Moss comes in and snipes the touchdown.
Zach Moss is doing everything that he learned the first 4 years.
Frank Reich is
but
the new
opposite.
Arthur Smith.
For-
Hi, Josh Downs led the team in receiving.
well, Frank Reich isn't there.
Oh, that's right. It's freaking Dinglehopper, Sirianni, right?
No.
Steichen?
Sirianni's counterpart, Steichen.
Steichen, that's
who
right.
is a legit coach. Steichen
Oh,
is
he's
a great
good, yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Philadelphia. Like, let's look back. Philadelphia, not including this year where they're giving Swift everything, it seems like.
Yeah.
It has been like three-headed monster in every single team, or they're like splitting. So this is Jonathan Taylor. I think this is here to stay all year. So this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, Moss was on the injury report. I was hoping he would miss this game so Taylor could just
Correct.
get 20 touches, but
Yep.
not so much. But Josh Downs, again, leads the team in receiving. We're seeing a really steady trend. Pittman gets
got
the
the
touchdown. He's being saved every week by touchdowns. Michael Pittman, by the way.
Big
did
play here
catch
and there.
8 for 40 on
He
13
did,
targets.
What they're doing with him is what they did to him last year. They're not using him the way they should use him. Michael Pittman.
Josh Downs next T.Y. Hilton.
I'm not going to say no.
Built like him.
Yeah.
Runs like him. Plays like him.
I won't argue
he
that.
looks like him, smells like him, and talks like him, he is him.
I am him. Will Levis is him.
Also, have you guys seen some of the Anthony Richardson trades going on in Twitter?
No, are they terrible?
It's ridiculous, the discount that
Really?
Richardson's getting.
What are we talking about?
Like, we're talking, one was like 2 firsts, and God, I forgot what it was, but I've seen a couple of them. I'll like vote. It's like, oh, side A or B, and I'll vote, and it's always on the not Richardson side.
Interesting.
But then there was one that I was like, this is clearly Richardson, and 80% or so had Richardson for the trade. So I think a lot of people are still there with Richardson, but
you guys make any trades this week?
Negative. Couldn't get anything done. Tried to get rid of Matthew Stafford, but I got ordered. Asked crap, man. 2025 second or a 20 or 2/3 in 2024. I'm like,
no. Superflex?
Yeah.
No.
14 team league.
So should we?
No.
Can we talk about maybe going out and checking to see if Stetson Bennett's free anywhere? Because he has been like milk carton.
Is he still on the NFI list?
Yes.
I thought he was.
But isn't that a list where you can kind of be taken off?
You can be put on and take it because when the Patriots signed Matt Corral, he was on and off pretty easily, and then they let him go eventually. So
okay, because
you don't have to stay on at any particular time. You can come off it whenever, I believe.
Nobody knows what is going on there. Like, there's been no news. Me personally,
Maybe he misses college life, and he just wants to party.
Me personally think it's rehab. That's my guess. Is it's rehab because rumors have it is he likes to really hit it hard when it comes to going out.
Little Johnny Bennett over there.
Little alcohol jump.
Oh yeah, but if that's the case, I think Bennett. I mean, if Stafford's out, there's a chance we could see Bennett back within the next week or two.
That'd be interesting.
And we saw him in the preseason. He had a really good preseason. He is a winner. He's been known as a winner. He's a 4th-round pick. So why not go knock on the door and see if you can get him for a 4th-round pick? Because in Superflex, that 4th-round pick that you gave up could turn into a second.
Yeah.
I
want to see what the injury really leads to. Like we don't really have a full diagnosis of what's going on with that thumb. Was it the same hand that he hurt last year? I'm not sure.
It was on his throwing hand, so that's in it. So it could be very much like Justin Fields, who has the injury to his thumb on his throwing hand, and he's missing multiple weeks. So it could be the same for Stafford. I mean, what's their motivation to run him back? Like they're now 3-5.
They play. Who next week? I can't remember.
They might be on. Are they on bye next week?
And then no, they're on bye in week 10.
Week 10, okay.
Who are we? We're talking about.
They play Green Bay next week.
Okay,
they could beat Green Bay with a backup quarterback.
Maybe. I mean, Green Bay looks ugly. Let's end on that. Let's end on Jordan Love.
Oh, because speaking of ugly,
I was a big fan.
You were a massive fan.
I have not
huge overrated
week
fan.
Week 1, week 2 look good, and he's falling apart right before
now
our
you're
eyes.
eating your hat, Scrooge McDuck.
Well, I mean, I didn't trade for him. I had him.
He had him everywhere already.
Yes. I mean, for seconds. We're talking pennies on the dollar. I'm not paying full price for Love, but I mean, in both ways. I'm not paying full price for any Love.
Sure.
I'm going discount.
I remember Ohio.
Keep digging that hole. All right.
But Love, is he going to get next year? That'll be my question. Do you think he gets next year?
I think he does.
I would think so.
I think they also draft someone.
Sean Clifford, man.
I don't think you can trust any of these weapons on the offense right now. Like, I don't want to play any of these people.
Are you going out and trying to acquire Christian Watson?
No.
He's
25
Romeo
soon.
Dobbs, maybe.
Jaden Reed, yes.
Jaden Reed, for sure. Musgrave, yes. But honestly, Christian Watson, he's going to be 25 very soon. So we're talking about a guy that he came out late. Yeah,
and no offense, it was the Minnesota Vikings secondary. It wasn't like a top tier.
They've been playing much better though.
Bynum is a ball hawk. 44, I forgot his name, is
Byron Murphy's
everywhere.
good too. They've been much better at that secondary.
They couldn't run today. They couldn't pass today. Like
Vikings has a
it
top
was
10
just
run defense,
gross,
by the way.
and they haven't been able to do so in the past 2 weeks. Like, I'm happy I really don't have too much Green Bay stock. That's for sure.
Yeah, Dobbs I don't have any of, and
Same. I have Jaden Reed in a bunch of spots because I like the player.
I don't
That's
have
the thing.
Christian Watson anywhere.
Same.
I have Luke Musgrave in a bunch of spots, but
Same,
those are,
yeah.
like for me, Watson's way overpriced until he falls in. He's a fancy Jameson Williams. That's what he is. So for me, Watson's just way too overpriced. Like if I could actually do Watson for Jameson Williams plus, I would do that because I think they're kind of the same player. Jameson Williams is a light years younger, so give me that on more of a high-powered offense that he could actually take his head out of his own ass and be something. That's the only issue. Like, it's not talent. We see it on the field. Like, he's flying past people, and the only issues are concentrating on catching the damn ball and maybe listening to your coaches once in a while. That could help.
That would be helpful. And you know what would help too is if you listen to us and you go to manscaped.com and use code DHH and save 20% on the best grooming equipment in the market. You're going to get the ear and nose trimmer. You're going to get you're going to get everything. You're going to get stuff to make you smell good, to make you feel good, all the stuff. You want to keep yourself trimmed and ready to go. Maybe you've got like you wouldn't get it in time now, but if you had a Halloween party and you want to get all trim your fade and all that kind of stuff, you can do all that stuff with Manscaper. And then at the end of the Halloween party, maybe you're getting randy and you're going to look like $1 million down below. So that's all I'm going to say. Go to manscaped.com, use code DHH, get all the things for 20% off. Any final thoughts?
We're on to next week.
Yeah, it's a rough one with buys. It's a buy heavy week, so we won't have as many games to go over, which is fine. But it'll be interesting to see how some of these trends from this week, if we start to see some of the trends continue and start like Jahan Dotson and
Like Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah. And we got trade deadline stuff to talk about. And
Khalil Shakir.
how about this? Next week, we talk a little bit about the trade deadline. We talk about the games. How about we do a rookie redraft?
Rookie redraft or keep trade cut? Didn't we
Rookie-
do a rookie redraft like a couple weeks ago?
No.
Like 2 weeks ago.
False.
Yes,
we did one before the season started, I think.
You're
No,
wrong.
and we did one mid-season too.
False.
Fake news.
Oh yeah.
Fake news. It's not real.
Lies.
Yeah.
It's all lies.
Speaking to the man that keeps track of everything, I will find it.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the text message. It was 4 weeks ago, you idiot.
4 weeks ago,
James is
dumbass.
searching for ghosts.
you jackass.
James will be searching
He's
for
Sam
ghosts.
Darnold. He's seeing ghosts. Woo!
Wait, what was that? No, I saw a couple Dynasty podcasts do a rookie redraft, and I was like, oh, that'd be
saw
fun. And I thought of it before I saw all of them, and then I'm like, yeah, let's wait a little
Yeah,
bit.
you just look like a copycat.
Yep.
Yep.
So let's wait a little bit, and James is realizing we did not have one, so let's
He's
do
looking.
that.
I think it's an appropriate week to do something like that because we don't have a lot of games.
A lot of buys, yeah. Trade
I
deadline.
wrote it down somewhere.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, on that note, that is going to wrap us up for Dynasty Happy Hour in Week 8. Thank you for joining us once again. If you,
I found it.
when was it?
I don't know, but it's listed as rookie redraft. And Doug took Bijan. I took Anthony Richardson. Tyler took Bryce Young. So we're gonna have to look at that again.
This had to be before the season.
Possibly.
All right. Anywho, like and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. The comment section, I got to be honest, it's been pretty scant lately. If you're watching, leave a comment, ask a question. We'll answer it here live on the show. But once again, thank you for commenting. Tyler, always interrupting my outros, breaking up my flow. I'm out of here. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Happy Halloween.